Hi, guys, and welcome to THFC, to the Die Home Tottenham Past, Present, and the Exciting Future under somebody. And this is Ange Talk Spurs as we go over his press conference today. And then after every match, we will be doing the same video for the press conference as well. And we'll be digesting and taking that, see what he says after the game. But this is the press conference before Bournemouth on Sunday. Of course, it was done this morning. Now, of course, we can't show you the press conference live, of course, for copyright reasons. So what we've done is we've stuck a few questions and answers down on the PDFs, and we're going to go through it. We're going to try to dissect it, and we're going to try to work out what he really is trying to say. But if you can also please hit the like button, hit the subscription button as well, hit the QR code above me there for big up channel Match Day Magic as well, guys. And if you can hit the link below for our channel sponsor, which I will play first to get it out of the way in case I forget. For our channel sponsor, Private Internet Access, and here is Column to tell you all about it. It's a great deal, €45 for 2 years plus 4 months free at the end of it. Now, I got it the other day. It cost me €51. That was €45 plus, VAT. So come up to €51, but it's still a great deal. It's still an absolute steal for your 3 p.m. kickoffs and for all the watch your football, your movies, anything you want to do. It is the best one out there. Forget your Nord VPNs, forget all the rest of it. Private internet access is your number one place to go. And here's Column to tell you a bit about it. And then we're back, and then we're going to go through Ange's press conference. All right, and Column, take it away.
Let me talk to you. A little reference there, but I'm going to stop messing about. I'm going to talk to you about private internet access, the best VPN in the land. Now, when you're online, you may not realize, but all of your data is there for the taking by anybody. With a VPN such as private internet access, your data is safe and secure, streamlined, and nobody else can get hold of it. That's why I use one anyway. VPNs, very easy to use. Private internet access, all you got to do is log on your phone, select where you want to be. So I want to be in America, and I click go, and there we are. You can also link up your devices to it from your phone if that is easier for you. It's available on a lot of platforms as well, as you can see, and you can use it for a very, very big range of things. So that's even better as well. You can use it, like I said, on all your devices, smartphone, tablets, gaming consoles, and stick it on your modem, and it's unlimited devices. One equals all. It's available all across the world, and it works perfectly. What they do is they mask your IP address, so pesky 3 o'clock kickoffs aren't an issue anymore, and they're independently audited, so there's no logs, 30 million customers, and 4.5-star Trustpilot rated excellent review. Private internet access. Get yours now.
And as I said, guys, it is a great deal. €45. It worked out for me €51 in total for 2 years of VPN protection, really, and you get 4 months free at the end of that. I can watch every 3 o'clock kickoff now to my heart's content, watch American Netflix, watch whatever I want. And I could be sitting here, or I could be sitting here in Wexford, and you know what? I could be joining Jack in Seattle, watching something with him over the Orange Hotspur, like I was his next door neighbor. So do get it. It does help us to help him. To help us, it helps them as well. And of course, it is a great deal. So please do our channel sponsor, Private Internet Access. Well, let's get on with the show. And of course, it is Ange's press conference. And let me take the logo out of the way, because I'm going to have to. Because it's in the way of what Ange is saying, which is a shame, but we will bring it back. Now, he was asked, like, first question with a quick turnaround, is there an update on Dominic Solanke, who actually came off quite injured last night? Now, we're not sure if it was knock or he's picked up a new injury, but Ange's sort of thing on that, what his answer was, no, it's too early to tell with Dom. Obviously, it's a knee going into his backside, so a bit sore, but it's a knock, so hopefully he'll be back pretty quickly. Now, does that mean he's a doubt for Sunday? Does that mean we may see him on the bench? I think he may be a doubt for Sunday. I don't think Ange may not play him on Sunday. I think Ange may try just to, if he's not 100%, keep him for Thursday, because Thursday does turn into be an absolute vital game for us for our season. So, look, it is ridiculous, you know. He comes back, and this has been the story of our season, hasn't it? Players coming back and then suddenly getting injured today or getting a knock and having to come off. So we have to wait and see in that. But as Ange said, it is a knock. It, sorry, it's a knee going into the backside. So, you know, that is going to be sore. So probably need a couple of days rest on that, let the bruising go down, and then see where you are. So I think Dom Solanke won't be available Sunday. If I'm reading into that, I think he may be safe for Thursday. But let me know, guys, what you think in the comments below. Then he was asked again, going across the second bit, you know, Alkmaar have a 3 weeks. So are you glad to have a game? Because getting back on the pitch is another opportunity. Now, I want to put me on spin on this before I read out what Ange said, and I think it is absolutely vital that Tottenham get back out and play. If there was a week between games, I'd be very worried about the mentality and lack of it that was shown last night, and the lack of leadership that was shown by certain players. It's vital to get back in, to get that game out of the system, get a good performance in against Bournemouth on Sunday, which is not going to be easy. Bournemouth are a good side, having a good season, and we're really low on confidence at the moment. So I think it's vital that we get out there, put a good performance, and hopefully get a win. That would give us some confidence going into the home leg. Again, Alkmaar, I'm ready put them to sort and get into that quarter final, where then we're going to really have to up our game and really play better than we did against Alkmaar. I mean, last night was absolutely embarrassing. There's only one word to put on it. You can put 1,000 words. You could say gutless, leadershipless. You know, no leaders out there, no passion or nothing. I think one word just sums it all up. It was embarrassing. And I think even Ange was left absolutely speechless because of it. And look, on Ange Postecoglou, I am doing a show later, and I am done with it now. I'm done with Ange. I think last night was a straw that broke the camel's back for me. I've rarely backed Ange a lot. I've sort of wavered, you know, from supporting them to not supporting them to thinking, do you know what? But I've always been dragged back because I know what he can do. But look, for me, I think I'm done. So that's for tonight's show. That's for the other show I will be doing, and that will be another. We're going up later as well. Um, Ange did say, "Look, we definitely need another game to get the squad where we need to get it to. It's an opportunity to get more game time to certain guys. The best way to put last night's disappointment to one side is to perform well at the weekend, and our league form hasn't been too bad over the recent period. We want to continue that. The Europa League is a massive emphasis for us, but I still want us and have a real desire to move up the table. We get that opportunity Sunday, and it is an opportunity to move up that table. Look, we're not going to qualify for Europe through the league. I think if we did, that would be some sort of a miracle. But he is right. It is an opportunity to get that game on Thursday out of their system, out of their legs, put in a good performance, and build up some confidence before that game on Thursday, which could make or break our season. It could make or break Ange Postecoglou's tenure as manager. Could we have the chance that if we go out against Alkmaar, will Levy then sack Ange Postecoglou? That is a very big question. But with the takeover that is going to happen, is it what's the point of sacking the manager if he's going to be let go at the end of the season? We think anyway. And for we know, he could be kept on next season. We just don't know. There's no clarity. There's no sort of way of what's happening. But Thursday is vital. He was then asked, you know, could players coming back? We know Romero and Van der Ven weren't risked last night. I will be going over that in a minute. And I think his excuse was absolutely, I think, for what we saw last night, was none short of just unacceptable. Could Ben Davies be back on Sunday? He says we're not really sure. He's training at the moment, so we will see how he feels. He's definitely progressed. He feels good. So let's see how he goes in the next 24, 48 hours. He has a chance, but we will see how it goes. And look, and I think we need Ben Davies there. If you're not going to play Romero, if you're not going to play Van der Ven. Um, then I think Ben Davis has to be there for his experience. And I look, and I said there last night when we did our predicted when they did our team rating show that I'm not going to dig out Archie Gray or Bergville. Or Tell. I mean, Tell was bad last night, but he's only 19. He's still getting used to a new team, a new league. And for me, Bergville and Archie Gray have absolutely gone above and beyond for what we expected from them this season. But I think to have Ben Davis back is actually a good option to have off the bench, to come off the bench and probably give some of these players, bring a bit of fresh legs, a little bit of leadership, I think, in that back four. But I think you would have to definitely start Romero and Van der Ven on Sunday. There's no option now. You're going to have to. And Ben Davis on the bench, I think that'd be great. Get 45 minutes in with either of them or both of them, and then you either start Van der Ven with Danson, put Archie Gray in midfield, and then you then can bring on Ben Davis and say for Jed Spence playing or Porro, but Jed Spence playing fullback, and then bring on Romero, say for Mickey Van der Ven for the last sort of half an hour, sort of last half hour, 25 minutes of the game. So he gets some minutes into his leg before the big game on Thursday. Of course, he says he was asked, we didn't see Mickey Van der Ven or Christian Romero feature yesterday. How much are they in you think for the Sunday's game? He said, yeah, there's a chance. When I saw that, and this is the bit I get, I saw the pitch. Seriously, the pitch is the same as every other pitch. There's no difference in the pitch. It's another excuse of why we didn't win last night. Like, we've heard these excuses before. If they're ready, then play them. It was a big game. You play your big plays and your big games. We needed them out there last night. We needed a Mickey Van der Ven or a Romero, even for half an hour, even for the first half. Play them. Just because you think the pitch was a bit tricky. I think it's absolutely ridiculous, and I don't agree with it whatsoever. And I think he's let himself down if he has said that, and he did say it. I just think I don't agree with it. I think, look, pitch or no pitch, you play your best players. He said, yeah, there's a chance. When I saw the pitch the night before Wednesday, I made up my mind that I wasn't going to risk them. It wasn't a great pitch. It wasn't steady on the foot. It wasn't the sort of game I thought I need to expose them. A couple of extra days training and recovery, and hopefully both are to be featured, but in line to be featured. But what recovery do they need? They haven't played any matches, and the only way you're going to regain your form is by playing matches. I think this is one of the reasons why Romero is going off to international duty with Argentina to get some game time. Now, I don't agree with him going to Argentina. I think he could have turned around to Argentina and said, no, guys, look, I'm going to leave this month. My aim is with Spurs. I owe them. I haven't played a lot this season at all. He's missed a lot of the season. But I do get it also on the flip side that going away and getting some game time is probably the best thing for him to do. So he gets up to speed. But using the excuse that the pitch wasn't great and it wasn't that great. It wasn't steady on the foot. I think it's an absolute poor excuse. You play your best players in the games. I don't care if it's against ASL Alkmaar or against Frankfurt or Ajax or Lazio. You play your players. If they're fit, they play. And I think it was a poor decision last night. Now, on saying that, Danso and Archie Gray did do well last night. But I think playing Romero, Mickey Van der Ven brings you something different. It brings you something a little bit that they can, like Mickey Van der Ven can bring the ball out much better out from the back four and play it into midfield and start things up. And if you look at last night, I was watching Talk Sport and Jamie O'Hara made a very valid point that there was no runners off the ball. There was no runners when Bergville be running with the ball. There was no runners. And with Mickey Van der Ven, he gives you that option because he does bring it in and he's got the pace to bring it in and set up stuff. So, look, I get it. He's the manager. I'm not. But saying just because the pitch wasn't a great pitch and it wasn't steady underfoot, I think it's just a cop out. I think it's a cop out, and I think he's realized he made a mistake. He should have started one of them at least. And just saying that, I just don't agree with. I'm sorry, I don't. Let me know in the comments what you think of that. Do you agree with him? Don't you agree with him? Do you think we should have started with one of them at least? If you weren't sure about Mickey van der Ven, you definitely would have started Romero. And I think he would have brought that leadership onto the pitch as well. And I think we lacked that last night. Um, and I think the only other person did show any leadership was Vicario, and what he did at the end of the game. I've got no problem with going over to the fans and telling them support us. Like, and I get fans are angry. I get fans paid a lot of money to go to Holland and watch that and watch a poor performance and watch a performance that was damn right embarrassing. But I also get we have to get behind the boys as well. We have to show them. And the next two games, Sunday and Thursday, we're going to have to make our stadium like a fortress, make it so uncomfortable for Bournemouth and AZ Alkmaar to come there and make them that they don't want to come out the dressing room. We really have to, because if we get a win on the weekend in the league, it gets us up there. Now, I'm not saying we're going to qualify for Europe through the league. We're not. But I do feel finishing in the top 10, I think, should be a target. And also getting into the quarterfinals of the Europa League, I think is a must. And I think if we were to get to the final, semi-final, I think that's a minimum. That is a minimum. Getting to a semi-final is a minimum. Getting to the final is what we should be aiming for. So look, let's see what happens. But I don't agree with his answer at all. I think it's a very poor answer and a very poor excuse of why he didn't play them. And I just think he was looking for clutching at straws last night. Um, he was asked then, this is sort of the last bit of it. I haven't picked all the questions. I've picked certain questions out, guys, and the ones I think that were important. He said, is the message to them that you do it on these terms and you play how you want to play? And his response really was that there's been there from day one. I don't think there's any doubt about that. There wouldn't be anybody who has followed for us for the last 20 months who thinks anything other than that. We are determined to go down this road, and I believe it's the way that we will bring success to this club. And every challenge along that way tries to shift you away from that. That's when you have to show your resolve and your determination to stay the course. And look, I get it. I get Ange wants to stay the course. I get Ange wants to stick to his principles, and he's right to stick to his principles. I think if you have a manager that chops and changes every 5 minutes, then you don't know what his philosophy is. I get that. I do get that. But I think there's an argument for as well that Ange should be able to, Ben should be able to really change, or even just a little bit change his philosophy, because you do have to, being a manager, and especially during a game, you have to be on your foot. You have to be thinking, 3 or 4 moves ahead. It's like playing chess, being a football manager, because if the opposition manager changes his formation during the game or changes the way he's playing, you've got to adapt very quickly to how we play. And then we saw that against Man City. This is why I was so angry about the Man City defeat, because if you look at the hours of Alkmaar, we had an 8-day gap between Man City and playing Alkmaar last night. Alkmaar played 2 games in between that. Now they've won 11 out of the last 13 games. They're in good form, and we just did not turn. We look like we've played about 2 games in the last 3 games in the last 7 days or something like that last night. We looked leggy. We looked absolutely out on our feet, and it was an embarrassing performance again. So Ange has to change. Ange has to I think Ange has to sort of look at himself in the mirror. If he is here next season, which I highly doubt he will be, but say, for example, if he is, or even for the rest of this season, he's got to look at himself and say, right, what can I do better? What can I slightly change? Even if he moves on from us to another club, I'm sure he's going to learn from the mistakes he's made with us and probably change as a manager as well. You look at all the great managers. You look at Alex Ferguson. You look at Klopp at Liverpool. Klopp developed and evolved as a manager over time, but you see his in-game management was absolutely spot on. You see all these managers that are successful, that win stuff, that really go up to the top level, that win championships, win win Champions Leagues, win FA Cups, win League Cups. They evolve as managers, but their in-game management is always evolving from minute 1 to minute 95. And Ange doesn't do that. Ange has one way and he sticks to it. So I think if I have one complaint, and I think in that last question he was asked, he does have to evolve. But listen, guys, thank you so much for watching. This is the first of many Ange Talk Spurs. We'll get this out for tonight for you guys. There will be one for the post match after the Sunday game against Bournemouth. I will be doing one covering his post press match conference as well, so giving you my thoughts on that. But do like, subscribe, hit the notification bell as well for future shows coming up here on THFC Till I Die. And whenever you do, enjoy the rest of your Friday. Thank you all very much for watching. Come on, you Spurs. Let's get a win on Sunday and let's get into the quarterfinals of the Europa League. Come on, you Spurs.